CFM Radio.
CFM Radio. It is Thursday.
We got a special edition, a Thursday edition of CFM Radio Video Game Music and News for you tonight, folks. What's up, Vector?
Video game music and news. How's it going, Drix? Today has been an action-packed CFM day. If you haven't been following us, we had a test stream here on YouTube. It was a simulcast for YouTube and Twitch. Unfortunately, Twitch won out today, but moving forward, I'm going to be running tests on both YouTube and Twitch. We're going to be seeing who yields more viewers, more exposure. If you want to see us on the platform of your choice, be sure to let it be known. I'm going to work on getting all of it running together smoothly. But until then, I got to pick one. And if I have to pick one, we're going to be running more tests. So every other stream, gameplay stream, will probably be YouTube, Twitch, YouTube. If you follow us anywhere, it will be posted.
Yes, we will let you know, keep you informed what we'll be streaming and when.
Yes. And a quick update on the Marathon Outpost guide. We will be up Saturday. I'm getting the gifts in order. I want to make sure that I have good enough visual aids for the long and extensive article and guide that I have created, just to make sure that there are no qualms, especially going into next season with all the huge major changes that Season 2 of Marathon will undoubtedly bring. There's already been 2 huge blog posts. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure everybody who wants to see some gameplay will be looking forward to it too.
Yeah, I mean, I know I've been playing other stuff, but I am excited to get back into Marathon when I get around to it, doing my first-person shooting and the like.
It's next June 5th is when everything resets, so there's no better time to jump in.
Yeah, cool. New season, new stuff, new ways to kill.
Yes, new character, night version of Dire Marsh Duo Q.
Ooh, yeah, that'll be fun for old Vector and I.
Yes, should be fantastic. Other than that, yes, you saw me playing some Marathon today. Played Street Fighter 6. Played some Kiln. Did a lot of variety gaming today. And that's sorry. Oh.
The Pottery MOBA.
Oh yes, you know what? That game is very fun. That game is very fun.
Yeah. No, it sounds cool. I mean, who doesn't want to play Jack and Jill Simulator?
Especially like, it is one of those games where like it's competitive and you want to win and you could get good at it, but there's no like ranked mode. Everything's just based on level. Everything is like matchmaking and all that is based on level. So like the more you win, the more you play, the higher level you get. So it really is just one of those games where when you see people who are like beating your ass, you can like really just adapt, have a good game and a sweat, and then the next game could be totally chill, and everyone's just like, it's like a neck and neck game, but no one's like going crazy. There's no like super combos going on.
Wow, yeah, nothing. You're not breaking the game like it's Dota yet.
Not yet. I'm actually, honestly, Drix, I am hoping that something like that happens to Kiln, because that would be a really funny thing to happen. And like, I don't know if any Kiln heads out there are listening, if you got a tier list, drop it.
Yeah, no, I would love to see some like Kiln WTF moments compilations on YouTube.
Yeah, right. That'd be hilarious.
Wacky water pail carrying competitively.
Yeah, man, it's awesome. But
Sweet.
That is what's going on here at Clusterfucked Media. We are once again getting back into the swing of things. We're here with reviews. We're here with articles. We're here on stream every week now. So we are back in business, moving forward into the future of gaming, which, you know what, Drix? Somebody has something to say about the future of gaming.
Oh yeah, like who is even in charge of said future?
Well, over on the game business show, first we should preface everybody. We are entering video game.
Video game news.
Yeah, lay it on me. Drop some knowledge.
The game business show. We love the podcast here on CFM Radio because our man Christopher Dring, he is all about getting these kick-ass interviews, and he has one with Christian Svensson, the VP of third party at PlayStation. You're seeing Gunboat God, a third party game that we reviewed last week here on CFM Radio. And Drix, this man, he says the future of gaming, at least from third party on PlayStation, looks bright.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the tools are the most accessible they've ever been. You know, I've seen previews of games worked on by like a single developer that look like absolutely beautiful and a lot of fun to play. So,
Yeah, and their accessibility is the name of the game, according to Christian Svensson. He says, quote, there are over 250,000 developers in their PlayStation portal or developer portal, and that he, quote, loves to support indies with spots in their PlayStation State of Play.
yeah, that's a pretty cool little avenue, you know, if you're promoting your own little project. It's interesting to note that, yeah, Sony has like a portal for developers on the back end where I guess you can submit your games to end up on State of Play.
That's exactly how Svensson said it, Drix. He was saying, funny enough, Svensson actually remarked on how the tools in the portal are actually underutilized in his view, because he says here, quote, how we can help you market totally depends on when you let us know what your game is. If you are working on your game, don't let us know 3 months out from when you're shipping. Let us know a year, the day, like when the game gets into production. There we go. When the game gets into production, let us know, because we can't help you if we can't plan on how to support what makes you the best and what makes you unique. And it's a pretty interesting thing to say, for at least from where I'm standing, because it's almost like he's putting the onus on the developer.
Yeah, I mean, these creative types, you know, some of them work better with deadlines more than others. But yeah, I can see, like, if you want, you know, sort of a more grand release strategy, you absolutely want to get people involved sooner rather than later, even if, like, you know, say your game's launching a year from now. Yeah, might as well get that ball rolling sooner rather than later, especially dealing with somebody as big as like Sony and like all the kind of
PlayStation, the only game in town.
Yeah, I can only imagine the game of telephone going from, you know, bottom to top or whatever about how we're going to help, you know, promote this indie game on our console, and is it going to make this State of Play that we're already like making motion graphics for and stuff, and it's like a lot of moving parts, so the sooner you start the coordination, the better, right?
Exactly, and not just that, he does say that they help with middleware, they help with debugging and quality control. There's a lot of things that they help with. The whole division is there for them to help, not just indies, but all third parties. He says they work with big names like EA and all that kind of stuff too. So another one of the interesting quotes he has here, funny enough, is that, quote, we as an industry should be super optimistic, and it is, quote, it is our responsibility to grow the industry. So a little bit of if you knew, we talked a lot about a guy who's no longer in the industry, who used to say that a lot, who was on Team Green,
Yeah, not Team Blue. And I don't know, I like hearing it from the Blue Kool-Aid a little better. It seems like they have more perspective, at least when it comes to working with indie developers and not buying them and shutting them down, you know?
Right, and Drix, it is interesting to hear Svensson talk because that's a very good point. You hear a lot of, I guess, mixed reactions from Xbox as far as their support for indies. Even in the Game Pass space, you have people who say it's a huge contention. We covered it here on the show. People who say, "Oh, but the Game Pass is great. You guys, the exposure is fantastic, and it helped our studio immensely." And then others who say, "Game Pass really didn't do a lot for us. It kind of it gave us a paycheck, and now we have to make a new game as soon as we can."
Yeah, it's like they play favorites almost, you know?
Right. And another thing about what Svensson is saying. Here's the thing, Drix. I'm all about being optimistic with gaming and optimistic where gaming will be in the in the near future, right?
Yeah, not going anywhere. Not anytime soon.
But here's the thing. I'm not worried about the hardware slump that just happened with PlayStation. I'm not worried about the slowdown, any of that slowdown, because their digital sales actually went up. But I believe they reported their digital sales becoming 93% of their entire software income.
Wow.
So,
yeah, you make more money when you don't have to, print CDs and encase artwork and stuff. So yeah, sure.
So
the marketplace on the PlayStation.
It is. I'm not too worried about anything like that. What I'm worried about, Drix, is this whole RAM and flash memory problem that is slowly still creeping underneath all of this tech hoopla. You know, you have data centers being canceled, stalled out. We have over 50% closing in on 75% of data centers that were projected to be built this year, either stalled or completely canceled. Not because of anything else other than they can't get the memory, flash or RAM, for their GPUs. So, what my contention will be, and again, just to bring it back into the realm of gaming, those are the things it's Nintendo says it, Sony says it. Those are the things those factors are the factors, according to them, that are making your prices go up.
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully you've upgraded to a PS5 already, since it's the only console to go up in price after 6 years.
Nintendo Switch 2 is also there. It raised $50. Remember, you used to for $500 you used to get Mario Kart with your Switch 2.
Ah, yes. So here they come, but at least that one came out more recently. It's not hasn't been on the market as long, but still, yeah. There's definitely something fishy going on in the state of hardware.
And I don't know exactly how that's going to affect the development side. You hear on the Jeff Gerstmann show a few weeks back, he did talk during GDC time. He talked about that was one of the bigger points. One of the bigger talking points at GDC, saying, "Hey, how are we gonna work around this whole RAM thing?" The AI was kind of a second thought, as far as how are we even gonna make shit work?
Yeah, you're not gonna have much, AI tools at your disposal without the hardware behind it, right?
So that is Svensson is Svensson. I love his optimism. And we here at CFM are normally rather optimistic. But when it comes to, he's talking 3 to 5 years, and he says the future is very bright. I don't know if in 3 to 5 years, maybe the 3-year mark is as far as your clairvoyance may be, because I don't know if we're already at a point where you can't find flash and you can't find RAM. In 5 years, if your game is coming out in 5 years, that might be the final smooth project, because all these other projects, you never know what could happen during development. And with all of these resources becoming more and more scarce, you're competing with like governments, right?
Yeah, and
Like,
demand from everyone and everything. Yep,
yeah.
absolutely.
So it could be tough times for game devs. It could be tough times for gaming, and in that respect. But right here, I would say, like I said, about 3-ish years. If he says the next 3 to 5 years are great, I think another 3 years are going to be fantastic. Especially since he says there is no real plans to get to rush PlayStation 6 out the door.
Yeah, really. Hopefully, we've got enough manufactured for everyone to enjoy in this, tech famine, if you will. But yeah, we're gonna see GTA 6 before PS6, hopefully. Yeah,
Almost guaranteed. Almost guaranteed.
yeah, getting pretty close, but I expect another delay or two, just because I'm not holding my breath.
Yeah, same. I'm not gonna lie. I think the same thing. I'm definitely not holding my breath. However,
And they're gonna do just fine. It's just remember Red Dead.
right, exactly. There's not. It's destined for success, essentially.
Even if it's broken, it's still gonna be a masterpiece.
Yeah, and But we're gonna take a break. But right before we do, we are going to touch quickly on this story from GameDeveloper.com.
Oh yeah, let's hear it.
Because Drix, the headline is, quote, Sega is lowering the priority of games as a service title.
It's fine with me.
So, Sega, as you know, putting
They
up
were
a
working on
Pokemon-
some kind of super game.
Yeah, Super Game, as you know, then they were going, they're going hard on their mobile endeavors and things like that. But here's the thing, Drix, from the article, quote, specifically, Sonic Rumble Party had a, quote, weak performance, and there was a delay in the launch of some titles, although Sega didn't disclose which. The company also lamented its failure to make more from its collaboration with Rovio, the mobile game dev giant that it acquired back in 2023. Rovio was the developer, everybody, of Sonic Rumble Party. Quote, no more Super Game from Sega. In the same slide, Sega announced it's canceling its quote-unquote Super Game. This refers to an initiative announced back in 2021, which was set to see Sega partnering with Microsoft to create games using the Azure cloud platform. The Super Game has come in and out of the public eye in recent years. In late 2022, Sega reaffirmed its commitment to the project, hoping to have it in the hands of players by March 2026. The company was projecting it would deliver lifetime sales of at least 100 billion yen. Then in 2023, Sega reportedly cooled its interest on the blockchain game market after suggesting that it might leverage the technology to create its Super Game. Moving forward, Sega plans to review positioning of its pillars for medium to long-term growth. In other words, it has lowered the priority of free-to-play games. Some of the division's development personnel, over 100 people, have been transferred to full game development division, focusing on mainstay IPs.
Yeah, no, I like the sort of trip that they're on right now, working on new like Golden Axe, new Jet Set Radio, new like Outrun, bringing back everything that Sega Genesis did that Nintendo don't.
Right, and like we might have Pokemon going on the B-roll right now, but it is a live service game, and that is what we're talking about. Because it is interesting to say that, because right here it says in the article, quote, last year Sega president and COO Shuji Utsumi said that game companies with a, quote, good record tend to have a strong global game as a service business. So it's a pretty interesting situation that Sega's in, because they are, as it says here, not performing as expected, but it seems mostly focused in the Rovio category. So Rovio, the developer of Angry Birds, was a big acquisition that Sega made. And before they did that, they had a couple of Sonic mobile games and a couple of other mobile games that you could play. Some of the Sonic games were good, and a lot of them are still started way back in 2010s. They're still online now. You can play them. Things like Sonic Forces, Sonic Rush. There's a lot of they have those things. They've also shut down a lot, but it seems like Drix, this whole super game as a service idea was tied into Microsoft and a blockchain thing.
Yeah. Sounds like they kind of, made a bad bet and just want to backpedal on it a little bit. But it's probably for the best, because in the moment they're probably chasing some kind of, we need a live service game trend. And clearly we've seen it not work out time and time again. So, if you're not buying microtransactions in a free-to-play game, how are you getting money? Through ads? You think people want to play games with ads in them? Nah, man, we game to get away from all that, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's the whole thing. You're seeing it here. Marathon, Bungie incurred almost $1 billion almost $1 billion loss to Sony. It was $750 million impairment because of Bungie. That's all live service, right?
Yeah.
The Pokemon Champions, like you're seeing on the screen right now, has had a horrible reception, absolutely terrible reception, from the casual audience. The hardcore audience is mixed, but the casual audience has almost wholesale rejected it. There is a growing sentiment that your live service games are less of a game and more of a second job. So, there's a lot going against the live service push. And like I said, it seems like they made a lot of agreements with a lot of different parties. And there could have, at the end of the day, this really feels, like you said, this feels like they had plans, they were chasing something. But now they're kind of slowly, quietly backing away from it. Probably because these agreements weren't really the best they could have made, right?
The only super game I want from Sega is the Genesis cartridge of the Sega 6-pack, So if that wasn't the super game that they were making, then I'm not going to miss it.
Yeah. And it's a pretty interesting, like I said, it's a pretty interesting story to follow, because it seems like less of a, we just can't do it, we don't have any ideas type thing, and more of a, actually, all of this technology either moved way too fast, or the people that we tried to make a deal with, or people tried to partner up with to make this game just kind of moved on.
We made these decisions while we were still buying NFTs,
Yeah, exactly.
Now we're not buying any more NFTs, so.
Yeah, so we're not really into that anymore.
Yeah, solving problems that don't exist.
And with that, we're going to solve a problem that does exist, and in that we are going to take a quick break.
Yes. Right now, we are listening to Looney Tunes Space Race for the Dreamcast. The song is called The Wild West Quadrant.
Wild West Quadrant, Looney Tunes Space Race.
CFM.
We'll be back.
CFM Radio.
CFM Radio, we are back.
We are back with new releases, but that last little double dose of musical goodness. The first song was Ico for the PS2, a song called You Were There, by a boys choir.
Love it.
And that last song you just heard was from The Neverhood, a song called Cough Drops, in case you didn't hear the quote-unquote singer having a nice cough there.
Neverhood and Skull Monkeys, the sequel, have such underrated soundtracks. Like this era of these wacky, bouncy, cartoonish, overtly cartoonish aesthetics of like what the 90s into like the early 2000s. Like those kinds of things like really were the product of their time, because you really needed to, like, you didn't have the technology like you have today to like articulate faces and features. So you had like, you know, games like the Neverhood and Skull Monkeys, they use claymation.
Yeah, we got to get your stop motion on with these, you know, lovely little games from the past.
If you haven't played Skull Monkeys, that's a hard fucking game, but you know what? You have never really played a claymation platformer, and it looks great. Like,
yeah, still, even by today's standards, because of all the handcrafted effort they put into it, right?
Yeah, it's a fantastic game. Skull Monkeys, Neverhood a little bit different. That's a point-and-click adventure. It's a little esoteric, so you can't really like jump into it. But Skull Monkeys, absolutely, you should give it a shot if you haven't. PS1.
Yeah, get platforming.
And we are going to take a completely different turn, because we only have one game to talk about. We only got one, Drix. There was only one. There's this Rugrats game that I thought was actually going to be out. It like doesn't exist. So
yeah, nice little bundle, a retro rewind collection of Rugrats games, but you know, kind of staggered launch dates. And we're just talking during the break that Limited Run Games is going to make a little pressing of this Rugrats collection. But anytime I hear somebody buying something physical from Limited Run, that their like production window is left wide open. Like it'll take, you order it and you'll get it like a year later. Like I think I know anecdotally somebody who's still waiting on their like Gex game, you know, since they wanted a physical version of that. And that's, we're like a year and a half away
like
from
about a year out.
Yeah, so talk about a limited run, man.
Yeah, shit. You know, I also know a couple people who got the Sonic Shadow Generations statue, and then they did a reissue because it was, the first mold was so bad.
Oh boy, yeah, you can patch that.
Yeah, so you know, limited run, hit or miss, but if you remember, if it's limited run, you could always get it on digital.
Yeah, I mean, if you need it immediately.
Yeah, if you want to play it, you know.
Want to play it soon.
But
otherwise,
here's a game.
Collection.
Shit, no kidding. Like a year for my collection.
Yep, now you're just poke scalping.
Now here's a game that you can play today. It's called Summer House.
Ooh, let's get cozy.
From the Steam page, quote, Summer House is a small-scale building game and a love letter to the feeling of a long-lost summer afternoon. Craft a neighborhood of tiny, beautiful, lived-in houses in a variety of settings. The sea, the city, or the mountains. While there are little secrets to uncover, there are no rules, and you can't win or lose. Just chill out, build to your heart's content, and soak up the atmosphere. If relaxation and creation are your thing, this is a game for you. Please keep in mind this is a small game with no goals or challenges created by a single person.
Yeah, not only small in game size, but actually very small in price because you can pick this one up on Steam for $4.99.
Yeah, $5. $5, guys. And this is one of those games. Hey, I get it. Cozy game. What the hell is that, right? I don't understand. Call of Duty Marathon is my cozy game, right? But
Yeah, your stabby game.
this one looks pretty decent. Looks pretty all right. You know what I mean? If you
Yeah,
just
I
wanna
like the
build.
visual aesthetic. Reminds you of a Moonglow Bay.
Yes. Yeah.
Just
Absolutely.
blocky and
So,
Mhm.
Summer House is available tomorrow, May 15th, on exclusively on Steam. Get it for $5.
Yeah. Get cozy with your PC this weekend.
Absolutely. And we are going to take another quick break because this track sounds awesome.
Right now we are listening to Car and Driver presents Grand Tour Racing 98 on the PS1. This song is called Dream Rider.
Dream Rider, CFM Radio.
Clusterfucked Media.
We'll be back.
We are back, and that last track was from Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, a song called Dark Skies Platinum Mix.
Classic Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. Crazy game if you've never played it before. Definitely one of Platinum Games' best outings they've ever done. You know, if you love Bayonetta, you probably love Metal Gear Rising.
Yeah, plays great on PC now, too, especially.
Hell yeah, fantastic. Especially with, get yourself a little bit of mod action, right?
Yeah, I mean, why not? You know, give old Raiden a big old cake if you want.
Yeah, right. But
I'm sure it's out.
I'll tell
I
you.
shamefully made it to the last boss and never finished that one, though, so I had to get good with my sword play.
Hey, you know what? I don't blame you. That last boss is fucking wild. It's kind of like a bullet hell.
Oh, yeah, at that point, it becomes hell.
Yeah, it's
War
like a
is
bullet hell. It's crazy, crazy. But you know what else is kind of crazy, man? Lord of the Rings and MMORPGs.
Yeah, it's, you know, Lord of the Rings is not particularly like the first name you think of when you think of MMOs, you know?
Much like Star Wars, they have their MMORPG, Lord of the Rings Online. It's been going since I think 2013 or something like that.
Yeah.
Earlier, I think, like 2009, 2010. So
Yeah.
you've got you have a legacy IP with a legacy game. Same thing with Star Wars: The Old Republic. Been around for a really long time. Has a dedicated player base. People logging on every day. But here's the thing: Amazon announced they were going to make a new Lord of the Rings MMORPG. But Drix, we just got something today from Eurogamer.
Ah, news from the Europe.
Indeed, and that is, quote, the headline is, quote, Amazon has canceled Lord of the Rings MMO, but promises it, quote, continues to explore a compelling new game experience set in Middle-earth.
Okay, I hope, best case scenario for me anyway, is that they were about to make another Where Winds Meet and then decided, you know what, this would be like a better single player game.
Yeah, seriously. You know what, Drix? That's a good point. I think, wow, I didn't even think about it like that. You're probably onto something there. I could see them trying to make Middle-earth into a Where Winds Meet experience.
Yeah, I mean, just based on the way they kind of worded that, I didn't really put that together until just now either. But yes, we will still try to make a game set in Middle-earth. Like, that would be cool. Please and thank you. Like, does it have to be an MMO? Like, I don't think, you know, Lord of the Rings fans probably still read books, you know.
Seriously.
So, I don't think they want to hang out online with a bunch of other no-lifers. But, yeah, make a good single-player game. It'll sell. We'll play it. We like... you know, Legolas and fam.
So here it is from the article. Yeah, right? But here it is from the article, quote, Amazon has been silent about this Lord of the Rings MMO ever since last October's layoffs. The game, first announced in 2023 as a partnership between Amazon and Embracer Group's Middle-earth Enterprises, had been in very early development since its announcement and moved to pre-production mere months before the 2025 layoffs, according to a source speaking to Eurogamer. This source has been granted anonymity to protect their career. Quote, the MMO had been presumed canceled for various reasons already. Not only had Amazon kept quiet about the game, its vice president of games, Twitch and Audio Stephen Boom reportedly wrote an internal memo that these layoffs came alongside a company decision to, quote, halt a significant amount of our first-party AAA game development work, specifically around MMOs.
I mean, layoffs will do that. They'll put you behind schedule on production, right? Even if you're in pre-production.
And deprioritizing your AAA game work, especially around the realm of MMORPGs, is a quite damning statement in this context.
Yeah, actually. So I hope they can, you know, find a way to recycle these assets at least, because I could go for another Lord of the Rings game.
A source speaking to Eurogamer claimed that in the months prior to Amazon's decision to end New World's active development, a decision announced to the team a few weeks before the October 2025 layoffs, quote, over 1,000 developers had begun transitioning onto a Lord of the Rings team. Amazon was, they claim, in the process of, quote, ramping everybody off New World and onto the new Lord of the Rings MMO when the company-wide layoffs happened. Quote, when they got the license, Amazon immediately announced it was making it before talking to any developers, the source said, adding that, quote, for many years it had, quote, only 1 or 2 people working on it as a side project. According to a source, only, quote, a single concept art was created every few months, describing it as, quote, standard concept art that didn't warrant the time. Quote, this source claims the period when developers were being transitioned on the Lord of the Rings team was, quote, when it was actually going into pre-production. So, wow. So, yeah, this was not even a thing. This was like a tax write-off type thing. We acquired, Embracer Group said we were going to do it, so we said that it was going to happen, and we didn't really have anybody on it.
We did not dedicate the resources to fulfill our own promises. Like, all right,
Okay.
fine. Thanks, Amazon.
Yeah, pretty sweet.
How's that New World nowadays, anyway? Talking about MMOs. Don't you already have MMOs at home?
Quote, from the article, quote, reports also claim that Crystal Dynamics is working on its own Lord of the Rings game. The same studio working with Amazon in a pair of upcoming Tomb Raider games. Whether this is a new game experience Amazon is working on or it's something else entirely remains a mystery. Notably, Gratis' above statement doesn't definitively rule out Amazon eventually resurrecting MMO plans some time down the line. And he's referring to Jeff Gratis, the head of games at Amazon, where he said this statement, quote, our creative team continues to explore a compelling new game experience that does justice to Tolkien's world. We are working closely with Middle-earth and remain excited about the IP. End quote.
Yes, Lord of the Rings excites us. Will we do anything about it? Like, maybe.
We might.
We might. There is perhaps a chance. We would like to make a game out of this IP that we acquired.
Hold on to your hat.
Yep. Just don't start forming lines yet.
We may announce something.
We will or won't.
Yeah.
We can neither confirm nor deny that this is our first tweet.
God. So the funny part to me about all this, Drix, is this source, whoever this is, this anonymous source, really essentially claims that there was no real work ever done on this.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we drew a couple pictures.
Yeah,
probably
not
wasn't worth
it.
We don't think they're usable for anything, but we made some pictures and we put them on the fridge here in the office.
This is an elf. This is a knight.
This is a man of Rohan.
Yeah. Do you not notice his horse?
He's going right on the fridge.
Yeah, seriously. So, Lord of the Rings, don't expect anything Lord of the Rings soon. That's all I'm reading from this.
Yeah, we'll get GTA 6 before we get another
Before
Lord
we get a Lord of
game.
the Rings game. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Is what that's like.
And for our final little bit of video game news, we a while back, but I'll put Pokemon back up on the screen again because we'll end with this little tiny Pokemon, this little bit of Pokemon news that ended up being kind of shocking for such a modest short news story. Here's the headline, quote, Pokemon Fire Red Leaf Green sales just skyrocketed by another 4 million thanks to the Switch.
Oh, jeez.
Ah, boy.
Good for you. I'm glad you're happy to play a Game Boy Advance ROM on your Switch.
Game Boy Advance ROM. A Game Boy Advance ROM with no save states, no rewind, no multiple save options, no, that are already on this console. The console has a GBA emulator with save states, rewind, like.
Yeah, with all the modern quality of life, features of emulation that we've grown accustomed to. I don't think I could play Mega Man Zero and ZX without save state. I was like, I thought I loved this game, but like this is actually very hard.
This is really hard, and I don't want to fucking go all the whole way.
I remember
down
loving this, but I also remember saving a lot,
A
like
lot.
mid fight. Like,
holy shit! So here it is from the article. Quote, Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green have now sold a cumulative 16 million copies. But here's the thing. If you were to look at any Pokemon series sales chart from the past 2 decades, you'd see 11 to 12 million listed. Once new copies of the 2004 Game Boy Advance games were no longer on the market, Nintendo was no longer selling them firsthand. So, they were dried up. The numbers were finalized. But a massive leap has now occurred, a full 25% uptick in lifetime sales. 4 million copies of Fire Red Leaf Green have been downloaded to the Nintendo Switch 2 system, providing the sort of old-school remake renaissance that few of us could have ever envisioned.
yes, a renaissance of playing, 20-year-old games on an emulator.
Fuck. Yeah, I guess so.
Ooh, go ahead and pat yourself on the back for that one. I mean, this is the Pokemon fan base we're talking about here. Like, they might have some extra money if they aren't buying their kids Pokemon stuff.
I mean, so here it is. I'll just say it like this. Here it is from the article. Quote, what does this tell us? There's a real market for this stuff. Either way, nostalgia is an incredible sales motivator. And few things in the gaming world hit quite so many nostalgic whistles like Pokemon. Specifically, OG Pokemon. I wouldn't necessarily expect potential subsequent re-releases to the platform this strongly, especially as Switch 2 software options increase. But suffices to say, they do quite well. I agree with that because Drix, we're saying it right here. No emulation features at all.
Yeah, we just want something you loved 2 decades ago. We just want to sell you that again.
There's no like expanded pool of Pokemon. There's no online features.
Oh, why would there be? That's an opportunity too, because you used to have to buy a link cable,
So this is the thing that's crazy to me is that the online connectivity is only to Pokemon Home with these ones that you can get on the Switch. And again, like we'll end this episode by just talking about emulators. It doesn't really matter if you're using the Switch emulator or an emulator on your phone or an emulator on your PC. You have online connectivity options with your Game Boy Advance emulation.
Yeah, you got your Fightcade. You got like the Dolphin GameCube emulator has like online connectivity. Like they're giving you less and charging you more, and these Pokemon fans, yeah, these charging you at all for a 20-year-old game, but 4 million in sales does not lie.
Yeah, that's another thing that's weird to me. First of all, how did they get these numbers? It doesn't say in the article. Second of all,
Sources.
Yeah, source. Second of all, hold the fuck up. 1 minute. This is the thing that alarms me. So, Nintendo obviously has been in its war constantly against emulation, right? They fucking hate emulators, and they want them stamped out of existence. Here's the thing. They are counting this release of Fire Red and Leaf Green as the same game on the Game Boy Advance.
It's not.
It's totally not. It's absolutely not.
Can't plug a link cable in this one. I can't fight my friends with one. How is this the same game?
But they're counting it as that. They're not saying the Fire Red Leaf Green Switch 2025 version of the game sold 4 million copies. No, Fire Red and Leaf Green, the game, sold 16 million because of this jump. That's not the same thing, but Nintendo says it's the same thing.
Well, that's how we're counting it.
And
I put Mississippi's between my counts when I'm playing hide and seek,
Oh, shit. So, but here's the thing, Drix. This kind of sets an invisible precedent, right? This is
Yeah.
Nintendo saying that, like, it doesn't matter if you're emulating this fucking game that's 20 years old. You're stealing from us. Because it's
Yeah.
the same game.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it might give them some more legal bias to like serve more cease and desist notices, right?
This is kind of, I think this is where people lose the plot, right? It's
Yeah.
easy to get swept up in, like, oh man, your fucking version is inferior, you're charging me for it, it's nostalgia, blah, blah, blah. Fuck all that. None of that really matters. Nintendo is counting this as versions of the game as it was sold on the Game Boy Advance.
We're just adding this to the Game Boy Advance sales.
So
That's pretty crazy.
that is crazy. So this,
I'll have air smoking.
so it's one of those things where, I don't know, man. Are we gonna see Capcom being like, hey, these old Mega Man games,
Let's sell them again.
let's sell them again? And you know what? These emulation sites with fucking Mega Man X for the fucking Super Nintendo. We're gonna
Yeah.
fucking
No, hey,
throw
let's
down.
boost those sales
Yeah,
decades
right?
later.
Yeah, we're gonna boost the sale of Mega Man X.
Retroactively the hottest selling game.
Jesus, mother of God. So that's what we're ending. That's the show for the night. Let's keep an eye on things like these, because redefinitions like this
Yeah.
are the
Rewriting.
yeah, this is essentially revisionism. This isn't how sales work.
This is a different product.
This is a different product. So if your game is technically the same game as to Nintendo as all the way back in the day, then who's to say that Crash Bandicoot 1 isn't?
Yeah. Yep. Can't wait till they sell us that ROM again. Add it to the original sales.
Yeah. So with that
Yes,
rather
indeed.
grim note, that's the show.
Yeah, I got to about it. It's a grim chuckle, but it's still a chuckle.
It's a chuckle, yeah, because it is ridiculous, right? It's like, oh, it's a GBA
Yeah.
game, so and we're selling it again, so obviously, but it's not. Your GBA game didn't connect to fucking Pokemon Home. Like,
Yeah. Yep.
So, thank you, everybody. Thursday edition, CFM Radio. We hope you join us again next week. Tuesdays, video game streaming coming back on next week. We are going to be here on YouTube doing our video game streaming priority. We're going to switch over to Twitch for the multi-stream on the back burner, see if the switch up works. If it doesn't, YouTube primarily next week, and we're going to alternate that for about a month.
Yeah. Go see some marathon tips in action.
Exactly. And that guide will be up Saturday. Make sure that you read it after your Friday night cryo archive runs, because you're going to lose everything. It's the lose everything factor.
Yeah, get it while it's hot, or in this case, cryo cold.
Cryo cold. And that's our show, everybody. Thank you for tuning in on Thursday. We'll be back Wednesday. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.